Today we're going to go over replacing the O-rings in your Ram hydraulic bearing 78125 HD. The first step in replacing the O-rings is to remove the press-on bearing, which just slips off the end of the bearing housing. Then we're going to remove the snap ring. The snap ring retaining lock is right here. Once that's removed, we're ready to press the piston out of the housing. Once the piston is removed, you can see the rear O-ring and wiper and the front O-ring and wiper are exposed. Using a small screwdriver, you can remove the rear O-ring and its corresponding wiper. Use the same procedure on the front O-ring and wiper. Then take a rag and wipe out the excessive grease and debris that's accumulated inside the bearing. And we're now ready to reinstall the new O-ring set. Start with the rear wiper and place that in the O-ring groove first. Once it's in position, pull it to the rearward portion of that groove. You can then feed the O-ring in behind it. Follow the same procedure on the front O-ring. Put the wiper in first. And then feed the O-ring in behind it. So now they're replaced. Now before we put this together, we're going to put some Parker O-Lube and some lubricant on this. Once you have both the O-rings lubricated, take a clean rag and clean the old piston off to clean any brake fluid or lubricant from that surface. It's very important on the piston that we pay attention to the snap ring groove, that we load that with Parker O-Lube so that we can slide it by the front O-ring without damaging it during reassembly. Once that groove is lubricated, we're going to take a little bit of brake fluid and we're going to wipe it across the two O-rings. Now we're ready to put the piston back into the bearing assembly. The front O-ring will get fed in first, followed by the rear one. Once it clicks into the front O-ring, put a little bit of brake fluid on the back of the piston. Then press it together. As the piston comes through, take a clean rag and wipe the excess O-Lube out of the snap ring groove. Once you've done that, reapply a little bit of brake fluid to the top of the piston. And now we're ready to reinstall the snap ring. Once the snap ring is in place and in the groove, you can reinstall the bearing onto the front of the housing, and you're ready to reinstall the bearing in your car.